Hello, welcome back to Sil-Q. I thought I'd try something a bit more ambitious today, and we're going to build a character that can hopefully kill Morgoth. So usually when I go into these playthroughs, I have a rough idea of what I'm going for, but this one I've planned out a bit more carefully. I've done a whole bunch of testing in the debug mode of Sil, and I've come up with a build that can pretty consistently take out Morgoth. So the issue, I guess, is that this build is very constrained in terms of experience. So I think on our last character we had around 78,000 experience finishing up the game. Um, for context, this build, at the bare minimum, we need 77,700 experience I've written down here. So experience might be a bit tight, although having said that, on the last character we did have a bit of time left on the turn clock, so we might be able to do a few repeats of 950 and get some more experience that way. Anyway, let's open up our save file, and we're going to be a Noldor of the House of Feanor. We're going to be doing a lot of smithing, which is pretty typical for characters that end up killing Morgoth. Usually smithing is involved in some way. And yeah, this stat distribution, which we used for our stealthy stabber character, is actually perfectly well suited for this character as well. So we're going to be playing as an archer, and we're going to be doing a lot of smithing, so dexterity is nice. Having a bit of con is always nice, and a bit of grace is nice for the bonus to smithing. Strength is not super important for archer characters, since most of the bows that we'll be using are pretty lightweight. Towards the end of the game we'll probably be using a bow that's a little bit heavier, but we can just quaff a potion of strength to cover that. So we'll stick with those stats. We'll assign our stat points later, get a new background and name, and off we go. So we are going to be playing as an archer, but we don't have a bow just yet. Hopefully we find one in the first couple of dungeon levels, but for the moment we'll grab a couple of points in melee and a few points in evasion. And I guess I'm not really sure how much smithing I want right at the very start. Let's grab 5 so that we can grab enchantment and armor smith and see what's left over. I guess we do like to have Song of Delvings. And 700 experience left over. Let's just put one more point into evasion, a point in stealth, and I guess maybe a point in willpower or something. Alright, off we go. So yeah, right at the very start of the game, we do want to use a bow eventually. We don't have a bow just yet. So we're going to try and fully explore these first few levels and see if we can just find one. There's a greatsword which is pretty nice. Our melee is not too high, but our dexterity is decent, so we've actually got a +7 to hit, which is not too bad. And enemies in the early game are not very evasive anyway, so +7 is probably okay. There were some orc, not soldiers, whatever the earliest ones, skirmishers. Looks like we missed out on killing those guys. So I'm not going to descend too fast, but we do need a lot of forges for all of the things that we're going to be smithing. So I'd like to get down to 950 at a decent-ish pace, so that we can start looking for more experience and items down there, because that's where experience and items tend to be the best. And while we're doing that, we'll also be looking for lots of forges to smith all of the equipment that we're going to need for our plan. So I should actually say, the plan is that we pump a lot of skill points and smithed equipment into making ourselves as evasive as possible. Morgoth has +20 to hit, but that's not actually true. It's not reflected here in the monster recall, but once he gets lower on health, he becomes more dangerous. So once he gets down to about, I don't know, 10% health maybe, his attack actually jumps up to +40, And the idea with this build is that Morgoth should never be able to hit us. So if he has a plus 40 to hit, and the combat rolls work on 20-sided dice, we need to have, at the end of the game, plus 60 evasion, which, if you've played Sil before, you will know that's a ridiculously high number. If you're doing really well, by the end of the game, you maybe have plus 30 melee, plus 30 evasion, or something like that. But yeah, that's what we're shooting for, plus 60 evasion by the end of the game. Looks like that's it for the first level. Good, we did run into some orc skirmishes. Every little bit of experience is going to be important. Having said that, we don't need to kill every orc we come across, because we are going to come across a lot of them. We've got our first guaranteed forge here on 100 feet, and when I was doing my testing in wizard mode, I only really focused on the end of the game, so I'm honestly not sure what would be best to forge right at the very start like this. I guess we probably want just some decent armor, because our evasion is not high yet, and as an archer, hopefully, once we find a bow, the only enemies that we're really worried about are other archers, because archery ignores half of the target's evasion, which means that you don't need as much skill in archery in order to hit things as you would in melee. But conversely, evasion is not as useful against enemy archers. So I think we want some defensive gear. We do have enchantment, and I think I'd also like true sight, because we don't have a lot of room in our experience budget for secondary skills like perception, will, and that sort of thing. So we're going to have a bit of trouble seeing invisible creatures. Unfortunately, we don't have enough smithing to increase the evasion or protection. We can decrease the weight a little bit, I guess. But yeah, we get a helm of true sight, that'll be useful. What else could we make? We probably want a shield. Shields are good against archers. We do want resist fire at some point. Maybe it's better to just make it now so that we have it. Or we could go protection. Let's go frost. That's probably more useful. We can increase the protection anyway. So we get a shield of frost, and something interrupts us. Probably, yep, one of these guys, Orc Scout. He's probably going to end up running up the stair. Nope, got him. Mulip, let's just remove our torch so that he doesn't extinguish our light. We do have a staff here, which we should try and identify. Another unfortunate thing, we don't have a lot of room in the experience budget, as I said, so we won't be able to get alchemy, which will let us identify staves and consumables, and we also won't be able to get jeweler for a while, which would be the other route towards identifying stuff for free. Okay, we got our shield of frost. We'll probably find a body armor. We don't have gloves at the moment. Maybe we want some gloves of archery in preparation for when we do find a bow. Let's see, how much can we put on that? +2 archery? I don't know if that's worth it. What else can we make? We could make mail. Mail of protection, maybe? (2d5) protection. Let's just go with that. So we've got a decent amount of armor for the stage of the game that we're at. There's no enemies around, but we'll try and identify this stuff anyway. Okay. Self-knowledge, that's good to have. Well, not really, because we have enchantment already. So we are going to be auto-identifying enchanted gear. What do we... Oh, we don't have a weapon. Ah, right, this round shield of frost. We can't use the greatsword with that. Okay, well we did find a bow, so that's really nice. Let's start pumping some experience into archery. Maybe we should just use the curved sword instead. Now we want to find some arrows so we can actually start using our bow. and we need to back away from these soldiers. We, again, do not have very high melee. So that guy just stepped into that corridor. If we wait 1, 2, and then step forward, he should be right at the edge, because that corridor was 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles long. There's no door there, so we can't do the other trick that you can do in the early game of closing the door and having them step onto it. So we wait 1, 1, 2, step forward. That gets them into the corridor. This is easier with keen senses, which we probably want to pick up. Again, for seeing invisible. Okay, there's a whole bunch of Thrall Masters down here, so this is one of those special rooms with a bunch of Thralls in it. May as well take out these guys. More experience is good. Although he does disarm our weapon from us. Let's just swap over to the Greatsword for these guys. Oh, well, he just disarmed that as well. Okay, let's try fight them one at a time instead. I guess we can use the quarterstaff. Okay, they're not brave enough to open the door. Okay, he's disarming all of our stuff. Let's back ourselves into a corner, which is probably not the best idea. I think it's dependent on your strength, so we're going to fail to hold on to our weapon a lot of the time. Although we did manage to keep it there. Let's actually change the options so that we don't have to press space or whatever to clear the more message. Disarmed us again. And what's this guy offering us? He wants something to eat. Well, we've only got Lembas at the moment, and I'd rather hang on to our Lembas than give it to that guy. Ah, good, arrows. Okay, so now we've got arrows. Let's wield our shield and our short sword, I guess. And we don't want to fire when he's right next to us, because he will get an attack of opportunity, but there we go. Archery is very good even at low skill levels because, again, the evasion of whatever you're firing at is halved. So now that we have a bow and arrows, that's going to be our main source of damage for the rest of the game, which is pretty nice. We've got good dexterity, so we should be pretty accurate. Ring of Evasion +1 for free is pretty nice. And let's just continue exploring this level. Though maybe we should just leave because we've already found a bow. We've pretty much finished exploring it though, so we may as well just continue. Okay, that's it. Let's head down. $600 experience, let's just pump more into archery probably. Let's just get Fletchery, that's more experience effective for improving our archery at this point. So this is going to cost us 500 experience. We're going to get 4 total abilities in the archery tree. We want Fletchery, Point and Blank, Archery, Puncture, and Dexterity. Fletchery is nice because, spoiler alert, we are going to get max 10 points in archery. That's all we have room for in our budget. So Fletchery improves our arrows to +3, and +3 at 10 archery is about, 3,600 experience, as opposed to the last ability in archery will cost us 2,000. So if we skipped Fletchery and instead got a few points, we would only be spending 3 abilities in archery, which would be 1,500 for the third one. But because we're getting 4, Fletchery is effectively costing us 2,000, but it's also saving us 1,600 because we don't have to spend those 3 points in archery itself. That's not quite true because we can also just find +3 arrows or smith them, but I think for the convenience it's worth it. If that was all a bit confusing, don't worry too much about it. I'm going on about our experience budget, but we will have a little bit of wiggle room. Yeah, so we're doing pretty well at the moment. I'm firing at that guy even though he's right next to us, which was giving him free attacks against us, but we do have our big male corselet, so I wasn't too worried about taking damage from that guy. We've already identified where the stairs are on this level, so let's explore away from them so that we can circle back to them and explore a little bit more efficiently that way. Okay, well let's swap over to the Great Sword for this guy. We should probably get a couple more points in Will and a little bit in Perception. Okay, Great Sword. And we killed that guy. There's usually two of them in corridors like this. We can kill them with archery once we've gotten puncture, but we don't have that just yet. We can drop the curved sword, we don't need to carry that anymore. Okay, there's a poisonous spider. If we quaff some of these potions, that's quickness, blindness. Okay, we didn't have a single slow poison, which is pretty unusual for this early in the game. I was expecting to identify a slow poison there, but that's fine. We can just fight these guys in melee, I guess. How much damage do they do? 2d7, so up to 14 damage. We probably don't want to give them free attacks against us, I guess. They are turning around, so maybe there's something blocking their path here. Could be another thorn enemy. No? I guess they just got their courage back. Okay, nothing up here. Still a bit at the top to explore. Is it worth killing this guy? 10 experience, I guess so. More arrows, that's always good. We can just improve those right away. It does take a turn to improve each arrow, so we wasted about 27 turns there, but I think that's okay overall. Okay, these guys are running away, that's good. We can just fire at them. I think when they're running away, they actually don't get attacks of opportunity against you, so it probably would have been okay to fire against that Thrall Master earlier. That Great Sword is a little bit heavier than our current one, so let's not pick that up. Another one of these guys. We don't have another potion to try and identify, so let's not get poisoned by him. Oh, well, whatever. And I think we are about ready to go downstairs. Puncture would be nice as well for these serpents. So puncture, I should say, will just deal 5 damage to an enemy whenever it takes no damage from an arrow that you shoot at it, which is nice for these heavily armoured things. And we do definitely want to get it at some point. Okay, down we go. In fact, we should probably get it pretty soonish. So here's some archers. So these are some enemies that we are worried about, I guess. We only get half of our evasion roll against them, but we did have the foresight to make that male armor. So we should be okay. We actually need more skill points for puncture. There is a forge coming up at 300 feet. I guess we'll just make some more regular armor. We're not at the point at which we can make the stuff I actually want to make. The first thing that we will need to make, I think, will be some gloves that will give us some more smithing abilities. So we want weaponsmith, jeweler, and expertise. That's going to take 21 smithing. So if we get up to, we've got +4 grace, we can hit 21 at 17. We can do, actually no, we've got +1 from our House of Feanor bonus as well. So we only need 16 smithing to get to 21. And we can reduce that to 15 smithing if we find a grace boosting item or smith a grace boosting item. So the max amount of experience that I want to spend into smithing is 15 points at the very maximum. And we are going to get 15 smithing eventually. That is to say, there's no way we're going to be doing any serious smithing at the 300 feet or even maybe the 500 foot forge. So we don't really have to worry about smithing for a while. Let's see what these guys do for damage. 2d4. Well, I'm probably happy to just fire against them, even though it does give them a free attack. We're defensive enough that it shouldn't really matter. At some point, we will get point-blank archery, which will stop enemies from getting free attacks against us, but we don't have it yet. We found a couple of staves as well from the looks of it. Got just caught with some birds here. I kind of want to get a... Well, there's 2 of them now, so they'll behave differently. I was going to say I wanted to get a bit of distance from the serpents. When there's 2 of an enemy, even if they don't normally have pack behavior, when there's 2 of them they will actually cooperate. Here's our first unique. Let me finish my other thought. So when there's 2 serpents, even though they might not usually chase you into a corridor, if there's 2 of them they will because they'll behave as a pack. But yeah, here is Gorgle the Butcher. I think we can kill this guy, and we definitely want to. Uniques are worth more experience. So maybe we do want point blank archery instead of puncture. We do have the experience for it. Let's just get that right now. Just so we can fire at this guy without... Oh, well that's not good. Let's do a potion of quickness and see if we can get out of this situation. I was hoping that when those guys died, we would have time to step onto that tile, but we didn't. We are low health, but we're also fast, and that's maybe good, because since we're low health, he's less likely to run away. Cool, got him. Yeah, that could have turned out worse, but we did manage to kill the orcs blocking us off from the exit. Nice. Curved Sword of Murder does improve our stealth by 2. We're not really using our sword too much, so we should probably swap over to that. New staff. Pick up our arrows, because those are valuable. Another new staff. I guess because we do have a murder weapon, we've got assassination, so we can actually stealth attack that guy. Okay, we've got a couple of staves that we want to identify. We do want to identify them with our usual criteria of having a closed door, an open door, an enemy, and a stair in sight. Which is why it's so much nicer to just have alchemy or a ring of secrets. See if we can do it here. Okay, let's see. That one we did not identify, so it's... Does this guy sleep? It's either slumber, or it's sanctity, or it's summoning, and they came up the other stair. Let's assume it's sanctity. That one's light. That one's summoning. Okay, so it probably was summoning... Oh, sorry, not summoning. It's either sanctity or slumber. Hopefully he doesn't flee down the stair. I would like to kill that guy. I think he did though. Wait, is that him? That is him. Don't flee down the stair. There you go. Nice. Speaking of fleeing down the stairs, We do actually want Song of Elbreth at some point. It's going to help us not get swarmed by packs of enemies. So maybe we do want to pick that up right now. Because these guys aren't worth too much experience anymore, right? Yeah, they're only worth 2 experience. It's probably not worth the time and the effort killing all of these guys when we can just instead chase them down the stairs. So Song of Elbreth just does a song check between our song and the enemy's will. If we beat them, their morale decreases. Oh, we do want to get poisoned actually. We picked up a new potion. Yep, there we go. It was a potion of antidote. One thing to note about Song of Elbreth is that it only works on intelligent enemies, so it actually will not work against these early wolves. But that's fine, because we've got lots of defenses. So the wolves should not be too much danger. Okay, I think that's it for this level. We might hang on to the Staff of Summoning. Just in case, well no, we don't really need it. I was going to say for experience farming purposes, but we really shouldn't need to do that sort of thing. There's enough experience in the game that we can get there without having to do anything too crazy. Let's swap out our greatsword for a battle axe if we do need to do big melee damage to something. 600 experience, what else do we want? Let's maybe focus just on archery for the moment. Another staff. We'll hang on to that. We don't need to be in line of sight of stairs anymore when we're identifying staves, because we've already identified summoning. So we just need a closed door and an open door in line of sight. So here's fine, we can try it here. Okay, darkness, let's relight the room. Okay, that archer ran away, and we can't really see him, so we have no idea what he's doing. Let's see if we can back up and get him to come out again. We can just have a shootout with these guys. They're unlikely to be able to damage us, again, because we got our male corselet, which is giving us a lot of armor. It is nice fighting archers. They tend to drop some arrows for us, which is good. We do want to stock up on as many arrows as we can. Ah, well, okay, that's why he didn't run away. Chasm right there. And there is a chest here with a gas trap, which we managed to disarm. Dagger of Cuivianen, probably worth carrying actually. That's +1 light and +2 song. The extra light in particular is pretty helpful at this stage of the game. Let's get some more archery. No idea where the stairs are, so we probably can't scare these guys down the stair. We'll be better off just killing them instead of having them at our backs. Don't really want to fire our arrows that way because they'll end up flying off into the chasm and we'll lose them. In fact, this is a dead end, let's just leave. Maybe should put another point or 2 into stealth because our armor is pretty heavy. Actually, arrows might have landed over here. Yep, cool. And you can kind of tell that we're not really having much trouble with these early game enemies. Archery is really good early on. Because of the halving evasion, we can think of ourselves as having effectively twice as much skill to be about equivalent in melee. So a melee character around this point would maybe have, yeah, I guess 12, 13-ish melee. Our effective melee score, if you translate it from archery to melee, is 24, so we're definitely not having any trouble hitting anything, which is very nice. And of course, being able to hit things at range is always good. Much safer. Still haven't found the stair. No, we did. It's over there. Let's go back over that way. We probably shouldn't have come up over here for one room. That would be pretty inefficient of us, so I'll try to pay more attention. We do want to be efficient. We got that turn clock to worry about. So this is 300 feet. We'll have our second guaranteed forge on this level. And a white. I think whites no, it can't be frightened. Okay, so Elbereth won't work on this guy. We've got very little will. We definitely don't want him to reduce our dexterity. We can probably kill him. He doesn't have that much health or defense. Unfortunately, he does slow us and darkens the room. I think we might need puncture actually. See if we can circle. Oh, that's really annoying. We lost some arrows and we lost our guaranteed forge. How did we not detect the trap through delvings? Well, that's unfortunate. I thought delvings would be guaranteed at this depth. What was that depth? I guess that was depth 6? I guess it's not guaranteed. I think it's a D10 roll to detect the trap. Damn, that's unlucky. Okay, so we've lost out on a floor and a forge. And we've hit another white who we've just established we can't really kill without puncture, which we don't have the experience for. Okay, that's unfortunate. And a troll. Okay, hopefully the white doesn't come through the door. Trolls, fortunately, we can scare. So if we get in a lot of trouble versus this guy, which we didn't, we could scare him away. Another white. Which way do we go? Let's go down that way. Once we've taken out these orcs. Let's just get that guy running away. There is something here, the Shadow Thorn. We would like to kill it, but there is the white there, which is going to prevent us from doing that. Let's sing so the trolls don't bother us while we're fighting the spider. They'll come back in just a second. Taking a beating from this guy. If we got low, we could again sing Elbereth and get him to back up a bit. We do have enough for puncture. Let's actually go back and kill the white. We're probably about to descend past the depth at which they appear. So we want to kill them while we can. Yep, much easier with puncture. Same thing with this Shadow Thorn here. Easterlings are also able to be frightened. Although they're a little bit harder from the looks of it. That guy's still confident, let's just keep him here if we can. Try and fight them one at a time. Cool. Get the white to step towards us, very good. Nice, okay. Managed to take out 2 whites, which is a bit of extra experience. Here's our first warg. Very out of depth, 100 feet out of depth. Can they be scared? I think they can, because they're actually intelligent. So they're actually nicer, in a way, than the earlier wolf enemies. And let's see, what do we want to do? We want probably... Let's get perception. What do we need for keen senses? 1 more point. Let's get keen senses, that'll help us since we don't have too much light. That'll allow us to see enemies at the edge of our light radius. When you don't see an enemy, you have half of your usual to hit against them, which is not good. We want our full archery bonus, and it's annoying if they run off into a corridor and we get half of that. We've got 3 staves of light, which we probably don't need to carry. Let's just drop the one that had been used. Poisoned from that thing, that's fine. Probably helps with getting that guy to come towards us. Brass lantern, but very little turns, so we need to find some oil for that. We've got a few more potions we can identify. That one is probably clarity. And this one is always going to be orcish liquor. The murky brown ones are always the same. Same with limpid and clear potions. Let's get... Do we buy keen senses? Keen senses. A bunch of orcs just came down the stair. Is it still worth killing these guys? I think so, yeah. Let's just sit here. Our torch is flickering. I am letting these guys kind of surround us, but that's fine. They're pretty easy to kill. New staff. Shadow, Tanglethorn, whatever they're called there. Need some enemies, ideally, to try and identify the staff. And a closed door. Okay, so that is something, because he was unaffected by it. Let's let him... There we go, confusion. Let's sing Elbereth and scare that troll up the stair. And just fight the warg by itself. Or down the stair, I guess. Yeah, okay, that's it for that level. We are hungry. Maybe we should... I don't really want to eat the lembas, because that can be used to restore our grace. Let's see if we can eat these herbs. Although before we do that, we should really put another couple of points into will. Just in case, well, we can't afford to put a couple of points. Let's go down 1 stair. And now we can put another point into will. Just in case it's something that can reduce our stats. Rage and sustenance, good. That's, we were able to see that phantom thanks to our keen senses and our helm of true sight. I guess we can try out the dark green potion. Strength, that is good to identify. We will want strength for the end of the game. Yeah, so the bow that we're wearing right now is 1.5 pounds. The next bow up is a longbow, which is around 3 pounds typically. And then there's a bow that we actually can't forge, dragon horn bows, and they usually weigh around 4 pounds. So to get the full damage value out of those, we need 4 strength, which we can hit with potions of strength. Those white enemies are now no issue, because we do have puncture, which is very nice. So I guess we'll just keep on pumping up archery. Oh, 37 arrows, that's nice. What interrupted us? I do not know. Yeah, so I guess we did miss out on that forge on 300, which is kind of a shame. It would have been nice to forge a cloak and some gloves of archery. But whatever, that's fine. I guess we can eat the pale herb. Ah, damn it. So you need to beat 10 on a will roll in order to not get the stat drain. So that's annoying. If our will was just a little bit higher, that wouldn't have happened. And we're now slow because we're carrying too much. We don't need a Staff of Shadows. We don't need a Battle Axe. We don't need something else. What is something else we can drop? We don't need Self-Knowledge. We do definitely want to restore our strength. Having 0 strength is very annoying. Let's just scare these guys down the stairs. This room looks kind of annoying to clear otherwise. Do want to kill the Orc Champion. First one of these guys that we've seen. Hey. Increases our constitution by 1. We do need 2 hands to wield that though, so that would prevent us from using our shield, which I don't want to give up. Another phantom. This room might be full of them. Let's just do a quick check. We should light up the room actually. I don't think it is. Okay. If those things start... Actually no, there are more of them. That is annoying. Hopefully we can kill them before they overrun the level. Maybe not. I wonder if they get frightened. Cannot be frightened, okay. I guess we're just stuck with them. We've probably killed enough of them now that they're not giving us any appreciable experience. Let's see if we can catch sight of one of them. Killing another would be worth 11. Oh, well, maybe not. Probably worth farming them for a little bit. We are wasting a lot of arrows doing this though. Because we might not be able to go pick all those ones back up. Although we have maybe cleared them out. Maybe? Yeah, I think we have actually. Cool. There's another white. Can we get him to step towards us? More phantoms. Or whispering shadows. Yeah, okay, I think this level probably has to be abandoned soon. See if we can identify this stuff. If not, we might just have to drop it. Okay, that's probably a needs an enemy. Well, we don't need the Staff of Dismay. We don't need what we think are sanctities. We should probably get a little bit of stealth. More archery. More will. Now 5 is our absolute max in our experience budget, so we won't be getting more than 5 will. Thankfully it did save us there from reducing our dexterity. Although honestly, reducing dexterity is probably not as bad as reducing strength. Good. Lantern. Maybe drop these torches now. Let's drop 3 of the torches and our half used up one. And probably the curved sword. I guess we can hang on to the quarterstaff in case we need the regen. And I think we are just about done with this level. New staff, which is Identify. That's good. We can get a bit of extra experience from using that. Majesty we do not need. I guess we can just confirm that this is Clarity. That was Clarity. We do want to kill that guy. We've only killed one of them so far. No, wait, we killed two. There you go. But yeah, killing another would be worth 26. Right, we definitely want to kill that guy. Herbal Weakness, we definitely don't need more of those. And we are done with this level. Let's kill that guy. 13 experience is 13 experience. Let's see. That's our final point in archery. We're not going to be getting more than 10 for a very long time. Not until we've hit 60 evasion will we get more than 10. So now everything else can go towards smithing, evasion. One more point in perception I have in the budget. I've got up to 11 in stealth and up to 5 in song. So yeah, there's a few things that we can spend experience on, but from this point on it's going to be mainly evasion, smithing and stealth, I guess. And more abilities. More shadows. Well, we could... Oh, yeah, the attack of opportunity, I forgot about that. Hopefully we killed them. I just wanted to make sure that those guys didn't start reproducing and take over the level again. We should swap over to the quarterstaff for a little bit. We can wear a Ring of Frost. This is leading back to that room, covered with rubble. We don't yet have a shovel or anything. We're about back to full health, so now we can swap back to the Dagger of Corvianen and the shield. Okay, that's a big pack. We can briefly sing Elbreth to get some of them to run away and reduce the size of it a bit. Once we kill a few, they'll all start running away. Okay, they were smart enough to encircle us. Let's sing Elbreth and make sure that we're not completely swarmed. How'd they get behind us that way? I guess they came up through this door. Let's just light up this room, since we seem to be fighting them here. Got 5 plus 3 arrows left. Okay, we're out of them now. Let's just wield our regular arrows. I think we will have to just scare a lot of this stuff away. Let's not get cornered. We're very low on song. Maybe we should swap over to regen and head back towards the stairs. That way we can actually, when we frighten them, scare them away. I would like to kill the red guy. We haven't killed one of these guys yet. Ah, come on, man. Managed to flee right before he died. Let's improve these arrows. Go pick up all the other ones we left behind. Yes, I think we definitely do need more stealth to stop getting swarmed quite so much. What? That was a potion. Oh, we haven't actually identified that. Let's try that. Con. I guess we can fight these guys up here and just frighten them down the stairs. Another red guy. Let's frighten the wargs away. Oh, they're both fleeing. Hopefully the warg goes down the stairs, but he does not. Nope. Well, whatever. I'm sure we'll run into more of them. Don't need a Malorn torch. Oh yeah, we did have that room full of Easterling archers at the bottom left of the level. We can probably just go check that out. How far away is it actually? We'll come back to it when we circle back around the whole level to go downstairs. I guess we don't need to carry Herbs of Rage at all. I don't know why I'm picking them up. There is a forge on this level, which is nice. We can get ourselves a little bit more armor. We should be wearing our Corvienen instead of Mithram. Managed to resist the Constitution drain on that herb, which is nice. We do have a Potion of Strength. We could quaff that to cure out of our strength deficit. We're doing okay with 0 strength, so if possible, I'd prefer probably to just wait and see if we can find a herb of restoration. That was Staff of Freedom. Cleared out that trap. These guys are going to run away probably, which is probably fine. There's oil, which is nice. There is a web right here. We do have a Staff of Freedom. We can clear it with that. I was going to say we can't disarm that. But we do have the Staff of Freedom right there. This guy's on top of a lantern, which is more oil. We can drop our torch and just carry that instead. Badlex of Hador's house is maybe nice to carry. Anyway, let's see about that forge, I think. We could also just approach the forge from the top. How heavy is this actually? Probably can't actually carry it. Oh no, we can. I don't really want to fight all these guys, let's just get them down the stairs. Off you go. I think there were a couple more that we missed. Okay, here we go. at the top of the forge. Oh, 2 forges. And a lot of archers. All of these guys are pretty susceptible to Elbereth, so it's going to be kind of funny. They'll just run back into this room over and over again. Actually, no, they're not. They're aggressive now. We need to give them a route to actually flee. Otherwise they won't actually get scared. Anyway, we can probably stop seeing Elbereth for the moment, just clear them out. Got not too many arrows. Let's scare that guy away. In fact, let's also light this up. Did we kill the giant? I guess we did. There doesn't seem to be a stair in here. Let's see. Hopefully this is restoration. It is not. Didn't auto-identify, so it's probably emptiness. And let's see, what do we actually want to forge? We've got no cloak. We should make a cloak. We might run into snow trolls soon. So maybe we want to make a cloak of warmth. Or maybe we just want a regular cloak and just up the evasion on it. That's probably better. Gloves, we can make gloves of archery. Or gloves of Brethel for free action. I guess we've got another forge available. Let's just do gloves of archery. Gloves, archery, +2 archery. What does it take to get +3? 18. Not hitting that anytime soon. That improves our archery a little bit, and we've got one more use on this forge. Let's see. I guess, yeah, boots. Boots of Brethel. We do have the other forge, but we really have nothing left to smith, I guess. So maybe we can just skip that. I don't think we will smith anything down here. I suppose we will walk into this web. We now have freedom, so we can not get trapped in it. And we get a little bit of extra experience for killing another spider. New staff. Staff of foes. What do we got? We've got this guy over here, the lurking horror, which we have not killed yet. So we do want to fight him. We've got an orc unique down there. We definitely want to go see if we can kill that guy. Yep, okay. Lurking horror and the orc unique. Ah, we got confused. Our will is not that high. Let's get more evasion. Okay, that was the lurking horror, I think. There wasn't really anything else up here, so we should head down towards that unique. And see if we can take him out. Ah, right, yeah, we don't have a shovel. Can't get past the rubble. These wargs arrived at exactly the worst time. Okay, he's fleeing. If we can get his buddies off us, cool, managed to kill him. Short bow of radiance, that actually does more damage. Maybe not more damage, it does something against light sensitive foes like orcs. Maybe it stuns them or something. I guess we'll find out in a second. Oops, I walked right into that. That's fine, we can just Elbreth for a get out of jail free card. What is that doing? Plus 20? I guess it's plus 20 to hit instead of plus 17 against light sensitive enemies. Now we want to pick up all of our arrows. And we can check out this room. There is a chest down here. And looks like it's just the chest. Final rest does give us free action. We've already got free action. Artifact we will not be taking, but extra experience for identifying an artifact is nice. And a bastard sword, so we don't need any of that. I think we head downstairs. Where are the downstairs? Up there. These guys are worth 3 experience. I guess we could kill a couple more if they're in our way. Or not so in our way. We kind of chase that guy. Okay, down we go. Let's improve our arrows. Oh, hang on. That guy's in line of sight. We can't do anything. Okay, let's see. We'll finish off 500 feet, I think, and then I'll stop for the moment. Here's our first snow troll. This guy is getting stunned. Wonder why the orc warriors weren't. He is getting stunned because of our light bow, I think. We can tap on Elbereth for one turn just to get him to flee. We're a bit low on arrows, we've only got 45. Be nice to find some more. That is a ring of warmth, I guess that's worth picking up. Let's actually Elbereth for a bit. See if we can get the giant to run away. Oh, he's gone aggressive. I don't know if the spider gets scared, I guess not. We can draw him into that little maze and just leave him there. This guy can reduce your constitution if he hits you, but again, we reduce his evasion to half with archery, so he doesn't have too much health. The main issue with hitting those guys is just that they have so much evasion. Amulet of Regen is lighter than the quarterstaff. Let's pick that up instead. We have another Staff of Freedom. You can swap that one out. Spider was down this way. Let's not forget about him. You can sometimes find arrows in the skeletons. No luck though. This looks like a special room. We can't disarm the pit. Well, I don't really want the pit there. Let's freedom it away. and run for it. Oh yeah, 28 arrows, nice. Let's sing Elbreth while these guys are chasing us. Hopefully that deters them a little bit. Let's actually stick on our Amulet of Regen. We've kind of backed ourselves into a corner here. We need the wargs to make some room for us. Let's bring them over to the stairs and see if we can just get them to run away. Okay, I think all of the wargs are fleeing up the stairs, which is nice. There was a herb of sustenance right here, which is good because we are wearing the regen, which is increasing our hunger. And we definitely want to check out whatever's in this room after all that fuss. Looks like some darkness enemies. A blinding enemy, so it must be a shadow bat. Oh no, shadow spider. They can also blind you, I guess, yeah. If we duck around the corner like that, he shouldn't pursue us. The spider enemies typically don't run after you if you duck around the corner in that fashion. We've got 4,000 experience. Let's... it's probably not cost effective to buy dexterity just yet. Let's just pump a lot into evasion. And what else can we do? We've got one more point of perception in the budget. We can pick up concentration, that'll help out a little bit with our accuracy. Oh, there's the shadow bat, so there was one. We probably do want inner light. Yeah. For shadow creatures. We want to take out the whispering shadows before they get out of hand. I think there's not too many of them, fortunately. Okay, now what do we have? 12 arrows of Doriath we'll pick up. I guess we can just wear those. We can remove our Amulet of Regen. Improve the 28. Ooh, Dragonhorn Bow. Nice. I did not expect to find one so early. Actually, we'll keep the short bow of Radiance, that could be useful. But yeah, that's a +1 accuracy Dragonhorn Bow and a +1 damage Dragonhorn Bow, and gives us +3 perception and resistance to cold. So that's a really nice find, actually. We'll probably be using that for most of the rest of the game, and we got +1 grace, which means we don't have to smith ourselves any grace boosting equipment for forging our artifact gloves that we wanted. Okay, we are slow. Let's just quaff the potion of strength. I'm getting sick of having no strength. Dwarf mask. We've already got the ring and the shield for warmth, or not warmth, frost, fire protection. Cool, that was a very profitable little room. Is that Radiance better? No, ours has a +1 damage slide on it. Yeah, okay, cool. That worked out really well. And there's a forge. Oh yeah, it is 500 feet. Guaranteed forge here. Well, we won't be able to make anything at the forge. Again, we need to get to 15 smithing +1 grace in order to hit 21, which is what we needed to make our artifact gloves that we wanted. So we won't be smithing anything here. There is usually enemies, so it's good to check the forge anyway. That's our first Rauko enemy. We won't be getting Rauko Bane, because we don't have the budget for it. So they'll be a little bit more dangerous than they were in our previous playthrough as a melee guy. Turn clock is doing okay, 350 min depth. So I don't think we spend too much time here. I was thinking maybe we should just exit this level since we've already found some really good stuff, but we may as well just clear out the rest of it. How much experience for the Wraith? 12? Yeah, we have killed a few of these guys now. Nothing in there. Another lantern. We can use that. Our current one is getting a little bit low. We need an enemy to test out the staff properly. Will do. Okay, that's imprisonment. We don't need to carry that. Let's see. What do we want? I think we wanted concentration actually. Yeah, concentration. So we'll get +1 for each round we're attacking an enemy up to our perception on 2. So that will give us +6 to our archery if we spend 6 turns attacking someone, which is very worthwhile. Another 6 archery would cost us, what's that, like 8,000 experience, 9,000 experience at this point. Those daggers better? They are. +3 instead of +2. Let's wield that instead. New potion, nice. New potion is healing, that's good to identify. And 9 arrows, which is even better. Okay, we are done with this level, I think. There's a little bit over there to explore, but whatever. Okay, so I think we'll stop here for the moment. We're doing decently well. According to my plan, we've already maxed out most of our skills. We have maxed out melee, archery, perception, will. I guess not most of them. Well, some of them. So next time we can max out, I guess, the remaining skills and then start pumping a lot into smithing and stealth and evasion. Yeah, the plan is going well so far. But anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.